Too many lives have been upended because of our failed approach to marijuana. It's time that we right these wrongs.
This past week, President Biden made a major move announcing the pardoning of thousands of Americans convicted under federal law for simple marijuana possession. That usually means they had a small amount. And he called on state governors to do the same. There's already a push to do this in Missouri. In fact, it's on the ballot next month. Recreational marijuana is legal in 19 states across the country. Missouri could become the 20th if voters give it the green light.
Big picture, I think it's good for the industry and good for the state.
Now, we've had medical marijuana in the Show Me State for a little while, but now the push to open up access even further is picking up steam. Several groups gathered enough signatures to get an amendment on Missouri's ballot in November. Missouri Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft told me here on Heart of the Matter that he is duty-bound to put this to a vote despite how he personally feels about the measure.
You know, I'm not in favor of it.
Okay.
I think there's a real difference between saying that there may be some medicinal value to marijuana, but the idea of people just drugging themselves, I don't think it's a good idea.
So this will be known as Amendment 3 on the ballot. If approved, anyone 21 and up could use recreational marijuana, including people from out of state. Missouri would collect a 6% sales tax. Medical marijuana cards would be extended to 3 years. They're good for 1 year right now. Also, people with previous marijuana offenses and convictions could have their records expunged.
So it is very progressive, and that is a great way to start righting the wrongs that have been caused by marijuana prohibition.
You know, some advocates of recreational use think the amendment is just that, a start. Many critics, though, say it doesn't go far enough.
This petition legalizes, but does not necessarily decriminalize. So even though we're letting people out who have or expunging misdemeanors, we're also giving out new misdemeanors. So it's still going to continue the cycle of persons in jail over cannabis.
Now, there are many intricacies to this proposal. This isn't just a piece of paper saying pot's legal. This amendment is more than 30 pages long, and you can tell this is not a cut and dry issue. We have questions. We know you have questions, so let's get you geared up for Election Day, shall we? Please welcome Drew Goodwin, an attorney and professor with the UMKC School of Law, who teaches a course in cannabis law, also a minority owner in a marijuana company. So you know a lot about this subject. Thanks for helping us get to the heart of the matter today. Where do you want to start? Because, I mean, we went through the basics a little earlier. We've read through all of this. We feel like we find a new thing every time. What stands out to you about this proposal?
You know, the expungement provisions have obviously gotten a lot of attention, and rightfully so, because they're unique. Other states have tried to expunge marijuana convictions like this, but it required the person with the conviction to hire an attorney, file something, and many convictions went unaddressed. This Amendment 3 does it automatically, okay, and the courts are instructed to do that within 6 months. So people unable to get a job or otherwise hindered by that conviction will see a lot of relief. But that's not the only criminal justice reform in here. Importantly, and one that hasn't been discussed much, is that law enforcement are no longer authorized to search a vehicle, home, or property based on the presence of marijuana alone. They have to have specific evidence that it's unlawful use of marijuana before they can do anything.
So this would be a major change in enforcement and in the penal system.
Absolutely, it would be a major change. It would require a lot of law enforcement training, and frankly, many of the officers I've talked to would welcome this change. It would save them a lot of time and resources to focus on violent crime, which many find should be prioritized.
Mm-hmm. What strikes me is that even supporters of opening up recreational use to marijuana really have their qualms about this. Like they want to get there, they see the finish line, they want to cross it the right way. What other questions about this amendment do you have?
The activists and the true long-term grassroots proponents of marijuana do have some questions about this, but that's not uncommon. I frankly, I see that it's the art of compromise, right? And within this initiative, there are equity provisions, new licenses, micro business licenses are going to be issued exclusively to disadvantaged communities. When larger licenses become available, half of them are going to be given to disadvantaged communities. The Department of Health is going to have a chief equity officer. We have the expungement provisions. Marijuana can no longer be a parole violation. It goes on and on.
And could someone grow their own marijuana in small amounts?
You can. Under the existing medical marijuana amendment, there is home cultivation. This extends that to all persons 21 years or older, but they do have to get a card the same way.
Here's a question that I've heard a lot about. Let's say Missouri does legalize recreational pot. It is very illegal in Kansas. Are Kansans going to come screaming across the border? I know the answer is yes, but how would that be handled?
Out-of-state residents are permitted to purchase if they're above 21 and they have a valid state ID. As a practical enforcement matter, I frankly don't know what Kansas law enforcement jurisdictions will do. I do know that the Kansas Highway Patrol and some rural jurisdictions have not slowed down in their enforcement of marijuana since Colorado went legal. So what they will do remains to be seen, I think.
Here's another one. We've seen some of this in other states like Colorado with recreational use. Let's say there's a person who legally uses marijuana. Are they protected from losing their job potentially if they're not using it at work? This is when drug tests or contracts or legalese kind of comes into play here.
You must have actually read it because that's in there, and it's one that hasn't been talked about. But yes, Amendment 3 states that an employer cannot discriminate against an employee based on them being a medical card holder or failing a marijuana test or failing a drug test for marijuana, rather.
Do you think this passes the way it is right now?
I do. I think the polling that I've seen is positive. I think it's around 60%. And just given the support that Amendment 2 had in 2018, which garnered over 65% of the vote and got bipartisan support, I would expect that to continue with Amendment 3.
All right, Drew Goodwin with UMKC. Thanks so much for your perspective, getting us through this very verbose issue on Amendment 3. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
Thanks for having me.
Count on KMBC9 News for full Commitment 2022 coverage. Stay informed on all the key issues and races on the ballot, on air and online at KMBC.com.